Smith, that is you. Present, your attorney, Mr. Kimber, and the state's attorney. Earlier, you pleaded to the third degree felony of evading arrest, or detention with a motor vehicle. That's a third degree felony, which carried with it up to 10 years in prison. The agreement here is that whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 5 years in prison. So we are looking at no less than 2, no more than 5 years confinement in prison. Deferred or unadjudicated probation can be assessed. You know, about this news. Paula is out there, folks. Also, you could be sentenced to no less than 2, no more than 5 years confinement in prison. That sentence could be suspended and you could be placed on regular probation for up to 10 years in length. I think those are your 3 options there. And a pre-sentence report has been prepared and the parties had an opportunity to review it. And are there any corrections or changes to it?
Corrections. We reviewed it, no objections, sure.
All right, it's made a part of the record for all purposes. Go ahead. State can go first, and we'll let Mr. Kendall have.
I'll reserve, Your Honor, and allow
Go ahead.
defense to go first.
Your Honor, I don't know that Mr. Ham's recommendation is going to be subject to the pre-sentence report. I was just observing that there doesn't appear to be anything in the pre-sentencing report that would be indicative of some sort of really egregious evading. I think what happened here is that the panic was probably not in the best mental state at the time this occurred, and didn't.
Why not?
Well, and that's what I was going to address further as I get along with it. The poor decision making capacity on her part. I think that there was no issue as far as contraband being in the vehicle that she was intending to evade, the search of the vehicle, other felony case, other felony prosecutions. Additionally, she didn't have a warrant. There was really no good reason for her to be made other than just poor decision making and perhaps mental stress.
Mental stress for what?
I'll let her address that. I'm not
stress.
I don't know. It talks definitely her that she's getting out as far as the specifics of that positive factors. I note that in the pre-sentence report, moral recognition therapy is recommended. I actually researched what moral recognition therapy is. It's a 12 to 16 week course that involves group sessions and individualized counseling designed to the conate portion of that to address
Well, we do it regularly.
decision
We
making.
have it ordered in a regular
Yes,
fashion.
sir, and I believe it's what appears
I
to
hear
be
it's supposed to be effective.
an efficacious program. And as far as aiding her in making better decisions and engaging in better decision making processes, her cognitive abilities before making decisions. There also seems to be an ethical or moral element to this. Program, which also probably would be beneficial to her, although I'm not sure about moral imperatives of stopping the interface with law enforcement. I suppose there might be a moral implication of that too. And of course, that would be addressed in the program. And I think that's something she would benefit from. And aid her in making better decisions in the future. I'll defer to Ms. Smith to maybe give the court a better idea of what our thought processes were at the time the offense occurred. You want to tell them?
Well, there's an elephant in the room here. The elephant in the room is
Substance abuse.
no, you got 7 other cases pending.
Those are Tyler. Some are in
I
Tyler.
don't care if they're,
I'm going to address
as long as they're on this planet.
Did you
I
catch
think there was
that? The judge just called out the elephant in the room, substance abuse. And suddenly this case stops being just about a police chase. It becomes a story about repeated bad choices, addiction, and a life spiraling out of control. But here's the real question. Is this someone asking for help or someone running out of chances?
going to happen there and talking with the prosecutors. They're looking at what the court's going to do here.
Well, and this is a fact here. I just want to make sure you were on probation from Orange County when you committed this offense, correct? You have to speak out.
Yes,
So she can.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So you're on probation for a illegal possession of controlled substance. It looks like some kind of it's a state jail felony. Then you commit this offense and thereafter being placed on probation, and then your probation was revoked. It looks like a year ago or so, February a year ago,
Yes,
correct? And you were sentenced to 18 months in the state jail.
Yes, sir.
Did you complete that sentence? When did you complete it? You must have had some additional time already.
Yes, sir, I did. I got out last summer.
Oh, you didn't spend long, is what
Yes,
you're
sir.
saying? Okay. So you're on probation, and then that was revoked, and then you were sentenced to 18 months on that one. Then it looks like all of these are the same. Well, there's not all the same date. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 burglaries of a building, burglaries of habitation, engaging organized criminal, tampering and fabricating with physical evidence,
That should be child care.
and possession of a controlled substance. All in the date of offense is February 16th of 23. And that was, it looks like before you were placed on probation in Orange County that was later revoked last year. And then those are all pending cases. Those haven't been disposed of yet?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Oh,
So,
I'm representing them.
okay. Then you've got this new evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle, the third degree felony that pops up, and it is committed on November 12th of 2024 after you were on probation for that Orange County case. And after it's alleged you committed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 offenses out of Tyler County that are pending. Then I didn't even talk about the misdemeanors, Richard. You got evading arrest or detention pending in Tyler County. A failure to identify in Tyler County. And then you receive 30 days in jail for a theft of property, I guess here in Jefferson County. Is that right?
yes, sir.
What's all this all about?
I had lost my daughter and I was kind of spiraled out of control.
When?
Let's see, about 4 years ago.
What was the date?
When I lost my daughter.
Yes.
But
You certainly know that.
no, she didn't.
We all know when
No,
we lose a
it's
child
CPS.
exactly the moment that happened.
Well, it was she didn't pass or nothing. It was to CPS. I lost her to CPS.
Oh,
Yes. So,
why?
because her father got caught with drugs.
Because of her father? You
Well,
lost?
yes, sir. So
That's not the way it works.
Well, he had said that I was a dangerous child. Or
Well,
whatever.
they must articulate some reason.
Right.
Okay. Nonetheless, so do you have any children? Ask.
I have 13-year-old.
That's in your care.
Yes, sir.
What about that? I mean, you're committing crimes here. You can go to prison for a long time if you added all this stuff up. And you got a child at home?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
come on. But on one hand, you say, well, I'm suffering because one of my children were taken away from me, but you have a child at home that's you're responsible for, and you've got all these crimes? That doesn't make any sense. Ma'am?
I was kind of hanging around the wrong people.
Whose choice was that? Okay, what else? See, these are your choices, like we all make it. These are fixable by doing the right thing. You know it's the right choice. We all know. You consciously continue to make the wrong choice,
That's what,
which I wish you wouldn't do. Not only for your sake, for your family.
So,
I believe that's
Where are you in things?
Right now I'm having trouble. I'm making better decisions now.
Okay.
But I think maybe I just needed to see that making bad decisions has consequences too.
I have to have that.
Like I said, it's positive too. Because yeah, so I got locked up in they offered.
Yeah, there's a great book written by a person named, it says, I am third. I am third. Our creator is first. Others are second, including our family. I come in third. And that's,
Yes.
you know, it has a good message. It certainly plays out a lot here in this room. So people who forget that they have responsibilities that are more important
Yes, sir.
to them, especially family. You didn't get to pick them. I mean, people, you know, our creator and gifted you with that. All right. So what do we do?
Well, I would suggest deferred adjudicated probation, not because our 10 over 10 is a third degree. So you wouldn't extend their exposure if you got deferred. If you sentence her to 5, if you knock her out, Your Honor, parole being what it is with a non-aggravated offense, she probably would do it the most too, as long as she doesn't get any type of problems when she's in institutionalized. So I think probation actually may be the harder course for her at this point with the exposure. You're doubling her exposure to 10 versus 5 in the event that she isn't able to maintain a law-abiding lifestyle and abide by the conditions of probation. So arguably, I think that the probation is a harder sentence potentially than the 5. And again, she evidenced as far as her behavior since being released from state jail, not accumulating any other cases. Well, I mean, other than this, I suppose, with Alpha State, that she is amenable to rehabilitation and amenable to the MRT program. So I would argue that the entity of society would be better served if she were placed on probation and attempt to rehabilitate her and get incarcerated.
I have a different opinion about all this, Judge. I want to start with number one, the classification the defense has given you about this offense. Having watched the video of her evading here,
Now the prosecution flips the entire narrative. Up until this moment, the defense was painting panic and emotional stress. But then comes the bombshell. Multiple IDs, cards, and personal documents from other people found inside the car. That changes the courtroom energy instantly. The state is basically telling the judge, she didn't run because she was scared. She ran because she knew what was inside that vehicle.
lucky that she's standing here. The risk of life that occurred here whenever she's disobeying all the traffic lights on 11th Street from 11th and Laurel all the way down to Luby's. Again, it's just amazing. And I made those comments in my notes, and I don't usually do that unless it's something that is notable that I plan to use in trial. What is missing from this PSI is what they found in her car that I hope explains why it is that she was running. According to the officer's report, when they inventoried her vehicle, they found a checkbook inside her purse that belonged to another individual by the name of Elizabeth or Martin Graham. In addition to that, they
Who was that?
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
All right, go ahead.
In addition to that, they
I
found,
know all the checkbooks in my car. I know whose they are.
they
I think
found
everybody pretty much does.
They found an EBT card and Social Security card that belonged to a Jonah Glover. In the same stack of those cards located
Who's
was
that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
7 medical insurance cards, another Social Security card, a different state Texas driver's license card, 2 bank cards, a different food stamp card, 2 scrap metal cash transaction cards, all belonging to other individuals. Now, Your Honor knows
Or other names.
right, that could have been a separate offense altogether. And why they didn't charge that's a law enforcement decision as far as that's concerned. But this certainly explains conduct underlying as to why she did what she did on that date, not this explanation that was provided to the PSI officer. The state of Texas feels that probation was offered to her in Orange County. That resulted in a motion to revoke probation because of this offense. It's why she was revoked and given the 18-month state jail time. She had, and again, I don't understand why Tyler County's 8 pending charges. You said 7. I don't know why these weren't resolved prior to her going on probation, because those offenses.
Yeah, I'm only counting 7 here in the pre-sentence.
I counted.
But that's
I may have miscounted, Judge.
Well, I don't think there's a substantial difference there. There's a lot.
There's two misdemeanors and 6 felonies. They all arise from February 16th of 2023, all along the lines of the kinds of things that we're talking about. Evading. There's an obvious trend here about the criminal activity that's obviously present here on this date that we're dealing with. So it's no wonder they're waiting to see what Your Honor's going to do on this case before they decide what to do here. I know that if she was on our probation here and that was ours, I'd be asking for prison time. Just because the fact that it's in a different county and we've got this same deal, I don't take a different position. She had her chance. There's not a reason why we should reward her for successfully not killing anybody on that day and give her probation. That's not what's warranted here. And then what really says a lot about this is when you get into the PSI's writing here, and she's talking to this person that's giving you this report, she doesn't seem worried at all about it. That's when she's having her candid one-on-one conversation before she appears here. And that's what the officer writes here on underneath the recommendations. She refers to her pro-social and antisocial behavior throughout the interview. Those are comments that have just not been addressed by anything that we've heard here. The cap is 5. 5 is what I'm asking.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Crimble? What do you?
I respect Mr. Hand's opinion. Obviously, it's predicated on some factual arguments.
What do you think is best for your client?
I would submit to the court that she is amenable to rehabilitation. That appears in the pre-sentence report through the recommendation. They're not recommending probation.
Credit for now.
I would just suggest to the court that she is someone that is eligible, and you could place her on 10 years probation.
Have you been on bond?
Sir.
Okay.
Tell me, when did you make bond?
For this count.
How long have you been out?
For every count.
Right before Christmas.
So December.
So
Financially, how did you do that? Because, are you retained, Mr. Kim?
Yes, it's her grant.
Okay, somebody helped you on all of this, and you've been out for how long?
About 4 months.
30. You only have about 30 days credit on all of this. I was just curious. All right. Anything else? Anything else you want to add?
No, sir.
Okay. Stanley. Right. Do you have another case?
I'm over in drug court. As soon as I finish here, I can come back.
Can you come back on that? Because I'm going to put you over there in the box and do something here. Think about something. Okay.
I'll come as soon as I finish. Honestly.
We now recall cause number 25 CR 706, the state of Texas versus Shelby Brooks Smith, who is present with her attorney, Mr. Kimler, and the state's attorney. We are here for sentencing in this case, and a pre-sentence report has been prepared by the probation office. Have the parties had an opportunity to review it? Any corrections or changes to it?
No, Your Honor. The only thing I'll observe, this is just based on what the conversation that is.
Yes,
sir. I think the police units were not the clearly marked Beaumont type. They were the blacked out type, the undercover type of vehicles. They were displaying flashing lights though when she was evading them, but she panicked and wasn't sure. And I think they probably conducted surveillance of the residents and initiated a traffic stop. That appears to be, based on my experience, what occurred. And then she panicked, I guess, and didn't stop because you had heard bad things, I guess. So, but anyway, it wasn't just like I don't know if that's reflected in the report, but we could probably.
It states according to the police report here, the version that's part of the pre-sentence report, the vehicle turned northbound onto 13th Street, disregarded the stoplight at 13th Street at Calder, which is a major intersection.
There's always going to be traffic infraction.
Detectives activated their audible sirens on their vehicles, but the vehicle continued to flee, turned northbound.
Let's see, it says detective.
11th Street and continued to disregard multiple traffic lights before turning into Luby's.
It says detective, so, and it doesn't mention clearly, so it's probably blacked out. But I'm not trying to absolve her of anything.
What did she plead guilty to?
And she pleaded guilty. She should have stopped. But it was a blacked out view.
Okay. The agreement is whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 5 years in prison. We went over through the different options, 3 options. All right. I think the state had made its comments from the defense. Anything Mr. Kimbler or the defendant want to add?
Yeah.
From you, Matt? Okay. I'm going to find then that the pre-sentence report is part of this record for all purposes. In this case, recommendations by anybody, state and or defense?
I'll stand on mine, Your Honor. I think this is a third, I would say deferred. That would expose her to 10 years and then she's revoked. As it stands now, the most she could get would be 5. That increases her exposure and will be incentivize her to comply with the terms and conditions of probation, including the moral recognition therapy program. I do believe she's
hold on, Dex.
a suitable candidate for rehabilitation, given the existence of that program and the other programs available with probation. As I said, Your Honor, if you place her on deferred, that would increase her exposure. It would basically double her exposure from 5 to 10 years.
All right. State.
Judge, when I look at the number of infractions she's had, plus she's had a 5-year probation revoked before.
Well, then for that the court point out that was revoked shortly after she was charged with this new.
Yes, sir. Commits this offense while she's on probation.
The offense occurred. The date of the offense was 2021. She was placed on probation 2023, 5 years probation. Then on 8/9/23 is when she was placed on probation. On November 12th of 24, she was indicted with this offense, which, I'm sorry, it is alleged in the indictment dated June 11th of 2025 that she committed this offense on or about November 12th, 2024. So she was arrested on that day. And then based upon that, then motion to revoke probation was instituted. And then her probation out of Orange County was revoked on February 12th of 2025, 3 months after she was indicted. For this offense of evading arrest, and she was sentenced to 18 months in the state jail for that offense of illegal possession of a controlled substance.
Yes, sir. Just to make it clear, the detectives notified a uniformed officer in his patrol vehicle that she was leaving and that and he activated his lights. That's what was.
What did you see behind you? When you were fleeing? What was behind you that you saw?
Well, I had pulled over the first time. I had pulled over when I had stopped when pulled over behind that church right there. I had stopped and I looked up in my lights. It looked like a regular vehicle looked up in my rearview mirror. It looked like a regular vehicle with cop lights is what it looked like.
And then you took off.
So then that's when I took off, yes, sir. But then I stopped again at Libby's. They didn't have to. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay, but I feel like it was a more open area. You know what I'm saying? I was in fear for my life. Is what had happened. Is really what
When
happened.
you pulled over at Libby's, was it a Mark Beaumont police unit?
They
Still had-
they didn't. All I saw was undercover units. So
And when they were trying to get her out of the car, she began to fight, struggle, and try to get away to run. And so I'm just not buying the story, Judge.
Is that accurate?
I didn't fight to run.
Was it dark,
I don't believe so.
ma'am?
I don't believe so. Is it probably about getting the right?
Dusk?
Yes, sir. There we go.
Okay. What else?
That's all.
And are you representing her on these Tyler
Yes, sir.
County? Oh, okay. And those have not been disposed of.
They're going to follow what the court does. That's and talk with the district attorney up there. If the court gives her probation, I can get her probation up there.
Okay.
The last reset up there was the city.
I'll remind the court that not only did she struggle, but she had all that paraphernalia in her car from other people that just, she was running for a reason. It wasn't that she was scared.
Anything else
Rearrest.
you would like to add, ma'am? Nothing else?
Whatever you want.
I would really like to get a second chance to try and do probation because I'm.
Well, hold on. You got a second chance when you were placed on probation in Orange County. You know, I mean, you're talking about second chance in this case, but you were on a dry run out of Orange County to see how you would do on probation. That was your first, it looks like your first opportunity to be on probation ever. And then, and see that you also picked up on that date, March 14th of 21, illegal possession of a controlled substance, a misdemeanor as well as a felony. And that misdemeanor was 77 days in jail you were sentenced to. And then there was it must have had more than one drug, a more serious drug and a lesser serious drug, but both were crimes. Then you were placed on that 5-year probation and then revoked in 2/12 of 25, which was just a few months after you were indicted for this offense. All right, if nothing further, I'm going to find the defendant has pleaded guilty in this case voluntarily. She's mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted in this plea hearing to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and I now find you guilty.
And here comes the final decision. After reviewing the probation history, pending felony cases, and the dangerous police chase, the judge lands on 4 years in prison. Not the maximum, but definitely not the second chance the defense hoped for. One moment of panic can change your future forever, and this courtroom just became another reminder that every decision eventually shows up in front of a judge. And here comes the final decision. After reviewing the probation history, pending felony cases, and the dangerous police chase, the judge lands on 4 years in prison. Not the maximum, but definitely not the second chance the defense hoped for. One moment of panic can change your future forever, and this courtroom just became another reminder that every decision eventually shows up in front of a judge.
Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this third-degree felony of evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle. I am following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 4 years, and you will be given credit for all time you have served, which isn't much. But you have these other cases.
Yes.
And that is going to run on its own, and then you'll see what those other cases do.
Thank you.
All right, that is on.
I'll see you at the time.
All right, we are in recess, and we will be going into this